Hello everyone, I am Subramani, Sysarc Junior Software Engineer. Now I'm going to present our project that is Resource Management Tool. My teammates are John Justin, Vignesh and Shiva and guided by Samson sir who taught new technologies like Angular and Spring Boot. Resource Management Tool that enable us to plan, allocate and track who's working on what project, when and for how long. Using this tool, manager easily track the resource and know the overall details about the resource with single search. Before creating our project, we first done design documents, which gives more clarity to us. Using this document, we can easily proceed the project. If new developer join, he can also easily understand the process by using this document. In design documents, there are 5 different diagrams. Those are template diagram, data flow diagram, use case diagram, class diagram, and ER diagram. Template diagram. It contains our project front-end layout. In our project, there are 6 different components are used. First, it is app component, login component, sign up component, resource component, resource search, and bank search component. In app component, we add toolbar with router outlet. Router outlet is used for routing purpose. Login component. In login component, we do authentication operation. Here we check admin ID and password is valid or not because authorized persons only allowed to maintain the resources. Sign up component. Using this component, we can add new admins. Resource component. Resource component is used to resource details by admin to the database. It contains resource details form. In resource detail form, there are different fields. Those are employee ID, bank ID, module name, team lead name, start date and end date. Then resource search component. Here we do search operation based on employee ID and show the resource details in dynamic table. Bank search component. Here we do search operation based on bank ID and show the details in table. Data flow diagram. It is used to explain how the data flow from front end to back end. In sign up form, first we get the employee ID and password from the admin. Then we do the validation, that is because we must check that is valid employee ID or not. If it is valid employee ID, we store the details in admin details table. Data flow diagram for login component. In login component, we create one login form. From that form, we get employee ID and password. After that validation operation, we allow that admin to access the resource details. Data flow diagram for resource store. First, admin is uh, valid, then he can allow to access the resource details. So he can give employee ID, bank ID, module name, lead name, start date and end date and store the details in database. Data flow diagram for search operation. If search is based on employee ID, admin give the employee ID, then it is go to the backend. In backend, we do the search operation, then we send the response to the front end. If it is bank ID, it is go to the backend and do the search operation, then we send the response to the front end. In front end, we show that response in dynamic table. Use case diagram. Using this use case diagram, we can know who can access this tool. Here we allowed only admin can access this tool. So first admin go to login page, he do login operation. If he is valid, then he can access that resource details. If he is new admin, first he do sign up operation, then he can access the details. Class diagram. Using this class diagram, we know the which, which methods and which repositories are used in REST controller. In our REST controller, we use two repositories: user repo, resp repo, and methods are add admin, admin login, resource store, uh, resource show, bank show, and we use four different entities: admin details, bank details, employee details, resource details. Those are entities, and we use two pojo classes used to give the response from the spring to angular. These classes are bank response. The last one is entity diagram. Using this entity diagram, we know how many tables are used in database and know the relationship between these tables. First, we create employee details, which contains basic information about all the employees. Then we create admin details. Here we mention only admin ID and password used for authentication operation. Then resource management details. Here we store employee ID, bank ID, module name, team lead name, start date and end date. Then separately we create bank details table. Here we store bank ID, bank name, bank city. We create a foreign key relationship used to do the join operations for retrieval the data. It is our home page of the tool. We go to do the sign in operation. First, I'm going to create a new admin. I give employee ID and password. Then I enter the confirm password. Sign in operation finished. Then I do login. Here we get the alert. Employee ID is EMP001. Login successfully. It is our resource data entry page. Here we can store the data to our database. In this table, different fields are there: employee ID, bank ID, module name, team lead name, start date and end date. First, I'm going to give the employee ID. Bank ID, module name and team lead name. Then I select start date, and I'm select end date. After hitting enter, details stored successfully. I get successful alert message. Then we can also do the edit operation below that table. First, we enter that employee ID and edit. Below the table, we can get all details. Here we create a edit button. Hit this button, we get that table in our form. Now we can edit that datas. Then we get successful alert message. Now check that is edit changed or not. Yeah, that is changed. Retail module. Now we go to do the search operation. I had I add side navbar to do the search operation. First, resource report search. We give the employee ID and we get the details according to that employee ID. Employee ID name is Naveen, bank ID is B001, Indian Bank, city bank city is Kodambakam. Then module name is retail, team lead name is Karthik, start date is December 18 to December 24. Then we are going to do bank report search. Here I give bank ID is B001. In that bank we have three different modules: retail module, agriculture module, and another retail module. After all operations we do the logout. We hit the logout successfully. In our project we add authguard to avoid manually enter the URL. If we change the URL, it cannot to redirect to that page. It is avoided by using authguard. We use that authguard in Angular, so it gives some security to our project. Thank you everyone.